What's up, guys? Bitcoin just got back above 60K. A lot of tides are starting to open. The floodgates are starting to get a little bit weaker. People are starting to realize at some point, even if we go below 59K again, that the market's going to recover. I wanted to read an article with you guys. I did not read this yet. I saw this interesting. I want to show you guys what is happening behind the scenes, what is coming in due time, and that is institutions. But first off, before we get into that, let's just check Bitcoin's price on camera. It's 60.4K. Last 7 days, let's just get rid of this. It was 59K. Okay, 7 days ago. Past month, it's down 10%. It was 67K. Bitcoin dominance is 56%. Let's just see what the Bitcoin fear and greed index is, crypto. So we'll see if anything has changed with the price action, which I'm willing to bet has changed. Let's get into it. 26 fear. Okay, so we're still in fear. Let me just show you guys before we move on. So look at all these ads. There's always ads everywhere. 26 fear. 26 fear now. Yesterday was 30, so it actually went down a little bit. I'm actually surprised by this. Okay. Interesting. Let's stop sharing this. And now let's go on to the article, which I have not read yet, but we'll see what they say. I'm assuming it's what I think's happening. So this is by Forbes. Institutions are coming. 35 trillion with a T US dollar collapse predicted to trigger a Bitcoin price boom to rival gold. So I said it in previous videos, been saying it now for 2 years. Once this recession started in 2022, which it did, but they wanted to fool you guys and, make it seem like the sky was not falling, even though it was. It actually started beyond that. When they started handing out stimulus checks, they were trying to get us to spend money because inflation was going so high, but it's a whole nother conversation. Regardless, right now, they're going to eventually cut interest rates, right? It looks like Q3 of this year. So if not this month coming up, September, or the month after that, might be the first one. If not, maybe a continued pause. We'll see what happens. Eventually, they're going to get these whales and these people, these investors who right now have their money market accounts earning yield, high yield savings accounts, they're risk off assets. When they slash the interest rates, they're going to want to move their money. Where are they going to move it? To a risk on asset. What's the safest one? Bitcoin, the stock market, crypto. But Bitcoin was designed to be the biggest hedge against inflation because it's a fixed supply, contrary to the US dollar, which is like never ending inflated and it always goes down in value. So when they make that switch, this $35 trillion is going to send a huge spike in Bitcoin. Like we've seen before, when Bitcoin rolls up tremendously and the old coins somewhat stay flat, that's because they're literally swapping their savings accounts and money market accounts and they're pouring money in because they don't want to put it under their mattress. They don't want to lose their money to inflation. They want to park their cash. A lot of these whale investors, that's what they do. They park their cash to earn yields, and they'll do it in the best assets possible, which in this case is Bitcoin and will be Bitcoin once they see the interest rates go down. So let's read a little bit further. Let's close this ad out. There's so many ads everywhere. Bitcoin has swung widely in recent weeks, bouncing around 60K as traders brace for a China earthquake. Okay, don't want to subscribe, but let's see what it says. The Bitcoin price has dropped from its all-time high of over 70K set in March as fears mount over the U.S.'s spiraling $35 trillion debt. And billionaire Elon Musk warns of U.S. dollar destruction, which is true, that could bankrupt the country. I mean, if you ask me, we're pretty much already bankrupt. I mean, we're in so much debt. The U.S. is known to be like a quote-unquote superhero to always lend a helping hand despite us needing a lot of help too. Not getting into political matters, but, we have a case to say we're already in debt. And it's pretty startling how much debt we're in and how much they justified to put us in further debt. But let's keep reading. Now, after former President Donald Trump floated a radical plan to wipe out U.S. debt, the U.S. dollar has hit its lowest level since the start of the year, sparking fears of further collapse and potentially feeding a Bitcoin price. Again, When the dollar goes down in value, all these, risk off assets, the yield's going to go down because the dollar is less. So they're going to move the parking of their cash to a better asset. This is Bitcoin. This happened before. It's going to happen again. It's like a ticking time bomb of what's going to happen. It's like we're watching the countdown taking place. Like you watch the ball drop for New Year's Eve. It's like this, except this is the debt ceiling coming down, and then it's falling on everyone's head, and they're going to move their assets to Bitcoin. Telling you it's going to happen. You watch it happen, and it's already happened before, albeit rallies, but it's going to happen again to a much significant extent. Let's keep reading. Let's see if we missed anything else. Bitcoin became a $1 trillion asset during a period in which the dollar was exceptionally strong. Yes, I remember that. In 2021, especially when they hit 55K back then, it was 1 trillion. Now, because it's more in circulation, it's a little below that, probably around 50K. Managing Director of Research, okay, Grayscale. Do you know what's going to happen to this asset when we have a period of sustained dollar depreciation? It's going to be a surge. Yeah, exactly. Suggesting the Bitcoin price will surge. He's right. The dollar's decline in recent months comes as investors are waiting for Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell to signal the Fed will cut interest rates next month. During his closely watched speech at the Jackson Hole Economic, I'm not even going to try that word, meeting of central bankers on Friday. The market is looking for a soft, he always uses this term, economic landing instead of a hard landing, because it sounds safer, it sounds less intimidating than we're going to aggressively cut the inflation. People don't want to hear that. They want to hear soft landing, right? It's all about perception here. And Fed rate cuts, which is negative for the dollar. Yes. Strategy at Bank of America, adding the dollar is still overvalued. Yes. Alongside expected weakness for the U.S. dollar, traders are also betting on continued U.S. spending that will push up the $35 trillion debt pile whether former president and Republican candidate Donald Trump retakes the White House in November or if Vice President Kamala Harris wins it for the Democratic Party. Unfortunately, that is also potentially true. As the market comes to grips, just to go back on that, whoever becomes president is going to be in a hole initially because we're in a hole right now. And it's not as easy as snapping your fingers and saying, okay, guys, we're out of debt. It's going to be a lot of work and time, unfortunately, because of the hole we're in. Just want to say that, from the jump. As the market comes to grips with whatever candidate wins, we're in for 4 more years of reckless fiscal policy. That sounds about right. The history is that Bitcoin really hits its stride at that point. So we're buyers here. We think it recovers. Completely agree. I think that's it for the article. Let's just see. Oh no, we're still here. The Bitcoin price rally has this year been largely driven by a long-awaited arrival of a fleet of spot Bitcoin ETFs on Wall Street. I've been saying this bull market is different because the ETFs are in the market, exchange trade funds, which means a long-term horizon investment plan. For those who work jobs, which the majority of you guys do, you probably have a 401k. In a 401k, you have a financial advisor who is doing this on your behalf. They're investing into ETFs as part of your retirement. So now when you factor in BlackRock and all these spot ETFs coming in the market for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and probably more cryptos down the road, they're essentially hinting, a strong hint that crypto is going to be here to stay. It's going to be adopted and people will be using it as part of their investment portfolios, their retirement portfolios, which is sounding like what kind of market right now? Stocks. So we want to see crypto get more regulated and more like stocks. Not saying, obviously if it gets closer to stocks, the law of diminishing returns will be much greater, which naturally we can't suppress. It's going to happen at some point. But when it comes to a long-term horizon adoption standpoint, we want to see ETFs in the market to show that crypto is here to stay, to bring buyer interest, new investors, new holders, and strength in this market. So that's a very strong point, and that's why I feel this cycle is different, and that's why I feel this market is going to be a crazy ride because we see and we're going to see so much money in this market that we haven't seen before in previous markets, despite the law of diminishing returns still taking place with the market cap expanding significantly. So, yeah, it's very different this time around, which is a good thing for us. Institutional investors have bought the dip over the second quarter of the year, despite a decline in the Bitcoin price of 12%. According to a report from asset manager Bitwise, with the company's chief investment officer calling it a great sign. Let's keep reading. If institutions will buy Bitcoin when prices are volatile, imagine what can happen in a bull market. They agree. The institutions are coming, and they're coming in size. Yes. While Bitcoin and the dollar decline, the price of gold has hit a fresh all-time high this week. Yes, I saw that. I saw that last night, actually. I think what we're seeing here is that investors don't yet move into Bitcoin during periods of uncertainty. Yes. Wow. So many points in this article that I agree with. A lot of people are still uncertain about Bitcoin and crypto, which is why the market's been flat, which is why tensions are high and people are exiting the market or selling their bags. It is because of the economic macro factor. And because there's no confirmation bias, despite the ETFs being in the market, despite all of us reminding you guys that crypto is going to be here to stay. People need like the bull market to be on full throttle to realize crypto will be here to stay and that crypto will recover and net some significant gains. That's why I say in all my videos, especially recent ones with the mindset, whoever's making moves during this time is going to be the one who changes their life. Because your peers who are leaving, who are hating on you, who don't understand, they're going to buy your exit liquidity. They're going to buy your top. And they're going to regret not taking action during this time when they know they should have been doing it. So just something to keep in mind. So yeah, this is a very interesting article. Again, I got more bullish just reading that just now. And I agree with the majority of points that were said in that video. When the Fed cuts the interest rates, the dollar's already getting worse. People are going to move their cash. And with the ETFs coming in the market, in $1 trillion, $35 trillion debt, which is going to be a ticking time bomb, in my opinion, when it hits, it's going to hit. And you're going to see the floodgates open. And that's going to be a huge confirmation bias like signal for the market to recover again. And that's pretty much what set Bitcoin to hit 74K in the first place, was because of situations like this. If you guys remember, Bitcoin hit 74K, the rest of the altcoins were up, but they weren't as up as aggressively as Bitcoin was. So we're going to see that happen again. And then eventually, down the road, we're going to see an altcoin season. And it's going to be a massive, fun roller coaster that you're going to wish never ends, but you're going to be glad that during this time, you took action throughout the entire process. And by the way, if you want to reach out to me, talk to me, see crypto and buying, selling, trading next, see my profit-taking course, track my portfolio, join a group of diverse financial investors, which over 45 already have made 6 to 7 figures. Join my conference call, Q&As, private live streams. Then I encourage you to join my WAP and Discord. I have a 50% off discount. It is expiring by the end of August. By September 1st, it is going back up to the original price. So if you want to catch that discount before it expires, then I encourage you to join Discord with my WAP link. It'll be in the description down below. But anyways, now I want to hear from you. How do you feel about the current economic macro situation? What do you think is going to happen to crypto in the near future? Drop your comments down below and let me know. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Really helps so much. That being said, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.